So, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. I get home from a bit of a trip. It's been a blast. It's been just really amazing. Mostly because of the people. And I ideally wish that those people that I'm referring to right now, today are going to see that. Because it really is insane how much of value they are to me and how much they give to my life, which on the other hand is also a bit of a fucked up thing than realizing when I'm alone or when they're not around or when I'm not having them, not access to them, that the change in mood and just feeling good and whatnot, like pretty interesting. But I do want to go through some rare things. I was just debating with myself if I should upload a video, if I should record something. And I thought, I'm gonna record something, and maybe indeed I'm gonna upload it today as well, because I still have something left that I could upload tomorrow. But I just want to talk today because of whatever reason, I don't know. Murakami style books. I don't know what this is, but reading a bit more without the freaky and off-putting sexual talk, I'm actually quite interested. Not because of the off-putting thing about what it is, because I don't know what it is. Anyway, dumbest business ideas you have ever seen. I have seen some silly ideas in my time. What is the dumbest you have seen? I don't really know if dumb is the right word to use here. I would rather say it depends on what it is. Sometimes it's just ridiculous in terms of, nobody's gonna buy it because nobody needs it. Or at least the amount of people is so low that it doesn't make any sense. Or it just doesn't work, just simply, physically, or whatnot. I mean, there really are multiple reasons why a business idea might just not work. Doesn't mean that it is dumb, but it just is not gonna work. At this point in time, maybe in the future, there's gonna be a market for that. Who knows? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. Anyway, I robbed a Walgreens pharmacy with a knife and spent over 4 years in prison. This is my first ever Reddit post. Deciding to be better subreddit. Do I want to read that? Well, I kind of do want to. I'd like to share my first ever post. I discovered Reddit in 2018 and I made this account shortly after because I wanted to share my experience and connect with people. But I quickly froze up and never took the leap. 3 years later, and I'm finally feeling comfortable enough with myself to share my experience publicly. The culmination of many years worth of baby steps forward. My name is Anthony. I was diagnosed and treated for leukemia at 18 years old in 2006 and went into heart failure from the chemotherapy, which is fucked up. I didn't know that this can happen. After surviving cancer, I developed an addiction to opioids and other pills and ultimately robbed a local Walgreens pharmacy with a knife in May 2011. I was fortunate enough to bail out of county jail so I could go through long-term inpatient rehab where the journey of reclaiming my life began. Nevertheless, 2 years after the robbery, I was sentenced to 5 years in New Jersey State Prison in August 2013. I did most of my time in Garden State Youth Correctional Facility in Yardville, New Jersey. During a phone call with my dad when I was really struggling, he said, "Someday this is all going to be over and you're going to wish you had documented it." So on a whim, I began journaling. The only things I've ever written in my life prior were text messages, emails, and book reports from high school. But his words triggered me, and once I started journaling, I couldn't stop. It was as if I was talking to a friend and trying to figure prison out and how I was going to get through. To this day, when I open up one of my journals to a random page and place my hand on the words, feel the pen marks on a page and shut my eyes, I'm instantly transported back to my cell with images flooding my head of when I'd pour myself into it. This intensely private outlet carried me through prison. I was released from custody in November 2017, and shortly after I was pardoned by Governor Chris Christie. The pardon terminated the 5 years of mandatory parole supervision that I had just begun, and I took the opportunity to set out on a one-way ticket. I've been traveling throughout Southeast Asia, ever since: Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, and Taiwan. During my travels, I took the time to adapt my journals into a book, and I've slowly been sharing it with people. Soon, I'll be kicking it out into the world, letting it go. I'm scared and super excited at the same time. It represents a really dark, really private time in my life, yet also a major journal accomplishment I never thought I was capable of. At this point, I've over 10 years clean. Like so many others, I knew people along the way whose parents found them face down in their bedrooms, dead from an overdose. I knew people who lost their lives to cancer, and more recently, some of my friends and former bunkies from prison have lost their lives, whether to addiction or being murdered or as a result of the lifestyle they couldn't get away from. I know how lucky I am to be able to be alive today. Thank you so much for reading, Anthony. Added, since people have been asking, the book is on Amazon at the moment. Aftermath, a memoir. It is not released, only set up for a pre-order with a date of September the 3rd. That date is arbitrary as the book's been done for months now. If people were interested in reading it sooner, I could move up that book or send some copies to some people now. Let me know. Just an FYI. Though it is heavy duty and it may take time to read, digest, and process, this is what I've been told. I think in general as well that journaling can really be a useful tool to take advantage of, because we all have certain thoughts and feelings and things that we went through that were pretty tough. And I do often think about, very recently I had to think about the mistakes that I made, things that I have done, and really wishing for somebody else not to do the same thing as I did. Of course, this person is not going to be in the exact same situation as I was. This is just not possible because I'm a different person than this person is, and not scenery, but the situation itself is also slightly different. The overall topic and or theme, quote unquote, might be the same or similar, but it's never ever going to be the same. Still, I think that it can really be useful, especially in these times where we all connected and we all can share something, that one just puts out something that is gonna make somebody ditch one of these things, ditch one of these fucked up situations, ditch one of these life-changing events in a negative way. Life-changing in a negative way. It's difficult though, not gonna lie. You knew it would be hard and it would be uncomfortable and it might be awkward, and you did it anyway. That's courage. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Would have actually liked to read it in his accent, his very Austrian accent, but I kind of thought that I wanted to talk or add something to the whole journaling thing. Sometimes when we are feeling things, I do not want to generalize it, therefore I'm saying sometimes, it might just be proven. There might be some studies on that, I don't know. I've just kind of picked it up somewhere and I thought about it and I thought that it makes sense. So when we write down something, things become clearer. Just also because we have to write it down and we have to verbalize it and we have to put it into words, which can not be done in a way that's inaccurate. When you write something down and you really want to make sure that it is what you feel, Then you have to verbalize it. Then you have to find the right words for what you're trying to express and what you're trying to say. And this, on one hand is pretty difficult, but on the other hand, this could lead to you thinking completely different about the whole situation or about the whole feeling that you're having than before. Just because you have written it down, you made it clear, which is not always the thing or the case when we are thinking and you're understanding it, because you kind of need to understand it if you're writing about it. Well, at least you're going to understand it a bit better. Saying that you need to understand it might be a bit overdone, but in the end, it is gonna make you understand things a bit better, at least when you're writing it down. Maybe multiple times, maybe in different ways, because one can play with words. But yeah, let's see. Stoicism and confirmation bias, a missed opportunity. Reading posts and commentaries on this subreddit, I have the increasing suspicion that a substantial portion of people who participate here lack a thorough understanding of Stoic ethics. That in and of itself is not problematic. Everyone needs to start somewhere, and gradually, though increased understanding broadens and deepens their conceptualization of Stoicism. Just because I'm reading it, if you're having some time left, and this is maybe more or less a note to myself. When you're having a bit of time left and you have the ability to get information and go through information and seek information, then I would say that it really does make sense. If it is the thing that you like to be doing or not, I think it makes sense to try to learn something that has something to do with a problem that you're having, so that you can eventually solve it. My problem is that, basically my mental state, I'm not that happy with. I think it could really be better. And I, thought about reading many books. And yesterday, indeed, I was at the Sigmund Freud Museum. Very, very interesting. And, I saw a book there, many different books, but one about like self-therapy and also dream work things, like, saying what your dreams meant, or at least just kind of trying to do so. And then I thought, well, it would make sense. It really would make sense for one that is not that happy with one's or his mental state to just invest some time to read about it, which, you can do in a way that is beneficial in another way as well. What I mean is, for example, reading a book. Reading a book can, please don't do that. Reading a book can really be relaxing. So I could use it as relaxation time, laying a bit around, trying to enjoy the sun maybe, and whatnot. Like, there's so many ways in which one really can optimize one day or one's day and make something great out of it. But yeah, that being said, I'm gonna see you the next time. Bye-bye.